Baba says, in terms of exercise, later we will reflect on this. Baba says, in terms of exercise, can you become incorporeal in 1 second? So let's, each one in his own way, let us practice to be incorporeal for 1 minute, and let us try to go beyond all other thoughts, just being the point and incorporeal. Om Shanti. I think still there is some mics are open. Anyway, let's continue. So,
oh, Bill, sorry, but your mic is also off.
oh,
Okay.
now can you
You're
hear
good.
me?
Yeah.
So let's begin again. So that was a minute of silence. I hope everyone has.
It was, okay.
It was a minute of silence.
Yes.
So Baba makes this analogy between the physical and the subtle, this analogy between diet and exercise at a physical level and at a spiritual level. And is a topic or theme that Baba has taken many times.
He wants to be free. Dave just gave him an excuse. In the meantime, my advice is...
I keep hearing voices.
Yes, please, someone who has his mic on. I don't know who that is. Can you mute your mic?
So what I said before that my mic was off, what I said is that when Baba uses the expression exercise, he gives us many types of exercises. But one thing that he says many times is, can you become incorporeal in 1 second, going beyond, completely beyond all the thoughts of service, of situations, of the mundane, and stay there. And stay there for however long you want. So this is exercise. But let us start with, instead of exercise, let us start with diet. Let's go first to diet, and then we will move on to exercise. So diet at a physical level, when the body is heavy and not healthy, the first thing we need to change is the kind of food we eat. And at a spiritual level, there is an analogy, because if we feel heavy, too affected by external situations, and influenced by the behavior of others or whatever is going on around us, we feel heavy with wasteful thoughts. We shouldn't have negative thoughts, but wasteful thoughts, for instance. That's heaviness. And it is it is an analogy with the heaviness of the body, the heaviness of the soul. And the soul feels heavy, there is no lightness, and there is maybe even some level of worry or let's say reaction or resistance to whatever is going on outside. So Baba says that we have to stop giving or taking impure food. What is impure food? I was thinking at the level of the body, they call it junk food, right? These places like McDonald's and all of that, the worst type of food that makes people very unhealthy if they use that diet. At our level, I'm sure we don't have negative thoughts, but Baba has been pointing out that we need to finish the wasteful thinking. Wasteful thoughts are also impure thoughts. I'm convinced that right now there are no impure thoughts in terms of the main vices, anger or lust I'm sure this is not the problem, but what do we have, for instance, and each one of us can check by himself, herself, what do we have sometimes is some wasteful thoughts regarding situations, regarding others. And Baba especially was signaling that if we think about the defects of others, or if we think about the mistakes of others, and we keep feeding our mind and intellect with those things, that's also impure food. At our level now, we should stop that. And the problem we have is that we enter into that pattern. We become a little too engaged in those type of thoughts, if this happens. But we need to clean up all of that. And so the method that Baba, so this is about diet. Diet means we have to stop, avoid completely impure food. In other words, what is it that we are nurturing our mind with? What are we keeping in our mind? And what is it that we are churning? Baba has said to us so many times, churn the jewels of knowledge, churn the spiritual knowledge, but sometimes we are churning things that are not so healthy, so good for the soul. And so Baba explains that the method to clean up our mind and our intellect is exercise. Exercise is where we set up for ourselves a certain challenge for some time, like a few minutes, to really stay with one pure, powerful thought or stage, and we really have to stick to that. And this is the exercise. Just as something connected with this, that I've been, during many years I was working in companies, in certain trainings and workshops and coaching, things like that. During some years ago, I came into contact with a company that offered me to prepare a course about energy, and I was studying. There is a book that I don't remember now the title of the book, but the idea of the book in those terms is that time management is not the problem. The real problem, or the real importance is in energy management. We need to manage our energy the best way so that we can perform the best way. And in that book and that project, it was called the Energy Project. One thing that they were emphasizing is that the athletes and the people that perform at the highest level in sports or in any field, they need recovery time. They need to do some intense effort and then to stop and recover. And that made me think that it is very much connected with what Baba is inspiring us to do. Because what Baba knows is that to keep full concentration and focus all the time is not just only difficult, but we don't have the muscle many times. We don't have the capacity to be fully in concentration. Unless we are in, I was thinking, well, but what are the highest levels of yoga? Of course, when Baba talks about being merged in love, of course, when we have this experience of deep love with Baba and we flow in that love, that can stay for longer. But I was thinking that all of this is interconnected. Sometimes we don't have this experience of being merged in love so easily. Because why? Because our diet is not good, and so we are mentally, spiritually, we are a little bit heavy. And because we are a little bit heavy, we don't experience that clean, pure, lovely connection with Baba. Again, I'm saying each one has to see for her own experience, and here we are probably different levels of yogis. But I am talking about a little bit the connection between those highest stages of yoga, in which we can stay for longer time, require that we have the cleanliness of our mind and intellect, and we lose our unnecessary weight, the weight of the soul. No? Sometimes imagine, no, the soul is a point of light, but it has heaviness. Even though it is a point of light, it can have this point of light can have a heavy stage. So there is heaviness, there is a burden, and the burden and the heaviness is because of this junk food, this bad food, impure food that sometimes we are feeding our mind. Even if it is just simply to keep for too much time the mistakes or the defects of others. Baba says that then when we keep the defects of others, we are absorbing those defects. So we are becoming heavy, right? And so if we relate with those souls with whom we have a little bit of wasteful thoughts, we don't have that clear, clean relation also, because there is this interference of this inner noise and heaviness. So Baba has been emphasizing the necessity, the need of the exercise. And I share this energy project because exercise has to be confined in time, in a sense that you do it for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I remember it was very interesting when, I think several weeks ago, in the Abhyak Murli of Sunday, Baba revised, he had given us the homework of 24 times during the day to practice 12 times the incorporeal stage and 12 times the angelic stage. But it was very, very interesting and funny that Baba was saying, okay, if you may not do it for 10 minutes each time, because he said if we could do it 10 minutes each exercise And then he said, many children have said to Baba that 10 minutes is too much, that they don't have the time, you know. And Baba said, Baba was just trying to see if we were able to do it. But then he said, okay, if not, if you can do it in 5 minutes. 5 minutes each exercise. So I was sharing at some other time, I was giving a lecture about the setting up an intention. And so what Baba has been doing in these Murlis is giving us homework so that we set up an intention for the day. So this is my experience, is that if we decide, for instance, if we create the intention that every day we are going to practice, I don't know, because one thing is that different Murlis, Baba has given us different types of homework, different numbers. Sometimes practice this 12 times a day, 24 times, whatever. But at least if you create your own plan on the basis of this and you set up an intention, then at night you can check and you can revise how many times have you practiced this exercise. And my experience is that sometimes, for instance, if you say, I'm going to do what Baba said 24 times, these spiritual drills. Baba calls it drill. Drill sounds like very military, no? 24 times this spiritual drill. Sometimes my own experience is that really, and if you say 5 minutes or 3 minutes every drill, or 5 minutes every drill, sometimes what happens is that you create this intention and the day becomes really busy. And sometimes all of you have the experience, our days can become very busy, especially when there are service programs. And I arrived at night and I check the day and I see that I couldn't do the 24 exercises. And maybe I did only 8 or 12. But let me share with all of you that that's way better than not having any intention and plan at all. So many times Baba has said to us, create a plan, a program for the mind. Not only the program for actions or the tasks that we need to do during the day. So if we set up a program like this, today I'm going to do these 24 exercises. This is my aim. And when we have an aim, we will pay attention to find space, to use our time properly. Any opportunity that we find, we can practice the drill. What I notice is that because I haven't been doing this all the time, there are seasons I have paid more attention, other seasons I am more engaged in service, but what I've learned is that when I set up the program and I keep the aim, then for sure it will be way better, much better, the result than if you have no plan. When we have no plan, okay, we will meditate, we will sit at the times of meditation, but we will not be looking for these opportunities during the day. So what I mean is that the plan makes you use your time and you give importance to these spaces of time that are created during the day so that you can fulfill your commitment or your plan. And it's very, very useful and it has an effect, because what happens is this exercise, if we really pay attention, and if we think, well, which exercise? Only the incorporeal? If you want to research a little bit, if you go to YouTube and search for Bab Dada's drills in English, you will see that there is there is a full collection of Baghdad's drills in English, and you have these 5 forms. This last Sunday, Baba was talking about the 5 forms in 5 seconds or in 5 minutes each form, right? And there is this exercise of the incorporeal stage, the angelic stage. There is another drill about the sun of knowledge, which is I love very much, which is more focused on Mansa Seva, to become really a lighthouse or spreading rays of peace. These days, you are reading the news. Probably you are seeing all what is happening in Venezuela, these earthquakes. So it's so important that we spend time really with this awareness of spreading vibrations and doing Mansa Seva. But the key point, I think, is that the essence of exercise is to keep your mind and intellect wherever you choose for how long as you choose. That is the essence of exercise. And in one Murli, because I was revising a few Murlis in which Baba was talking about this, and Baba was saying something very interesting. Those who do exercise, those who practice exercise, at the beginning, they find it painful. But it is true that at a physical level, if you for a long time, you haven't been doing any exercise, and you do even a little bit of Hatha Yoga, and you do those stretchings, can be quite painful. Why? Because you haven't exercised over a long time, no? So at a spiritual level, it happens a little bit the same. That sometimes it's a little bit hard, no? To really stay for 2-3 minutes, just a point in the soul world, but no more thoughts, no more expansion, just to stay there. Maybe one thought to remind yourself what you're doing, no? I'm a point in silence. I must see it. This is what I do, because the mind sometimes runs so quickly that I give myself a few thoughts of the drill to keep myself in the exercise. This is how I practice it. But to stay there for 3 minutes, and sometimes, I'm sure all of us have this experience, sometimes it's not that easy, especially when our mind and intellect has been so engaged in actions, and our attention is scattered into good things. I'm talking, we have this experience, sometimes we are very engaged in service, and so we have lots of thoughts that this one, I have to phone this one has to do that thing, whatever. Many thoughts of service, which are not bad at all. But then to do an exercise of 3 minutes and go and really focus yourself on going beyond all those thoughts. Sometimes it works, sometimes in the middle of the exercise, some other thoughts pop up, and it's part of the exercise. So Baba was saying that sometimes, for those who haven't been practicing for a long time, it is painful. It is painful in a sense that you don't enjoy it so much necessarily. This exercise requires a lot of attention and focus and concentration that sometimes we don't have so much or so refined. But Baba was saying, then afterwards was saying, but those who have been practicing this over a period of time, or I don't remember if he was saying over a long period of time, then Baba was saying, cannot stay anymore without practicing that, without doing that exercise. And this is the thing that I think Baba is signaling we need to understand. Maybe there is a little bit of hard work at the beginning, or for some time, we need to pay special attention, but the benefits are incredible. Benefits are wonderful because we feel that we gain control, we are gaining control of our mind and intellect, and we clean up all this mess of thoughts, and as I said before, especially if there are some wasteful thoughts, exercise is the way to clean up all of that. And then you slowly you gain controlling power over your mind and intellect. You notice, maybe not perfect all the time, but you notice that your controlling power is increasing. And when you say stop, you have more power to stop a stream of thoughts that you don't like or you feel that they shouldn't be there. Otherwise, when we don't exercise, it looks as if it's very hard to stop sometimes when we engage our mind a little bit, even emotionally, into something that has been affecting us. It seems as if it is like difficult to stop completely that. That comes back again and again. So I was experiencing that it's a matter of exercise. Exercise so that the muscles of attention, of focus, of concentration become stronger and stronger. And so sometimes what is the best for us is not the most comfortable, in the sense that we would love to just to sit and flow in wonderful experiences of yoga, etc. But if we look at really what happens to us, sometimes we can see that there is a little bit of too much noise in our mind. So this is the thing why Baba has been insisting us so much into so many Murlis. I would like to share my experience that I really enjoyed that period, because according to drama, this Abhyak Murlis, Baba's coming, finished. I don't remember if it was 2019 or 18 when no more Abhyak meetings. I mean, we have the meetings now revising his Murlis, but not more coming in Dadi Gulzar. But during the years 2008, 2009, 2010, all these years, I remember those were the years I was really enjoying. And because I said that I was in the world of companies, I studied for coach, executive coaching and all of that. And truly I can tell you, it was very interesting, that I felt that Bab Dada was our coach. Because in coaching is a methodology so that someone accompanies another person to reach a goal, to reach an aim, something that the other person wants to achieve. The coach follows a process of questions, putting some homework, checking in the next session if the homework has been done. And truly I had the experience, it was a beautiful experience that, wow, Bab Dada is my supreme coach. Because at that time, in almost every Abhyak Murli, Bab Dada was giving us homework. And it was really enjoyable. He used to say, now for 15 days, practice this exercise or these thoughts or whatever. Practice this for 15 days, for 2 weeks, and in the next meeting, Bab Dada will check the result. It was really beautiful. And then he would give different type of homework. And it was so enjoyable and so, it gave us, at least, it gave to me a lot of enthusiasm. So those Murlis are the Murlis that we are revising right now. And as you have seen this last Sunday and other Abhyak Murlis, many times we can hear those Murlis that in which Baba specially gave us these drills, these exercises. So this idea that limited time, even if it is 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or 5 minutes, but commitment to stay with that form or that stage, whether it is the angelic stage, the deity form, the angelic stage, whatever we choose, stay with that for 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I mean, this is the essence of what I wanted to share. I can share a few more things, but I think we could, let's do it now. Let's practice together. Instead of explaining more, let's do a couple of exercises. And I suggest let us have 2 minutes of incorporeal stage. And each one can do it a little bit in their own way, but remember the essence of incorporeal stage is beyond, point, and silence. Whether you visualize it, you visualize Parandam, there is a little bit of creativity and space for each one of us has its own way of connecting with the incorporeal stage. But let us just be there for 2 minutes. No more thoughts. If any other thought comes, ignore it completely. Really focus and concentration. Let's have 2 minutes of incorporeal stage. Om Shanti. How did it work? I can tell you my own experience. I was in Parandam, I was as a point, as a seed, and in the middle of Parandam, a thought came. Have the 2 minutes passed already? And I looked for a second to the time. So, but it's, it's okay because I had to lead this exercise and I didn't want to make it longer. But you see how even being in Parandam as a seed, a thought comes, right? It doesn't matter, it's okay, because that's the exercise. We need to understand that exercise doesn't mean to do it perfectly. Maybe sometimes. Remember when we exercise physically and we have to stretch and we cannot stretch that leg, or it's so painful because we haven't practiced for a long time. So sometimes the exercise, it looks like a little bit really not battling, but really it's like we are making an effort to stay there with that thought with that experience or with that stage that we want to focus on. But let me tell you that it's okay. That's what Baba explained in that Murli, that sometimes is a bit painful. It takes effort, but there is a reward. And it's just like physical exercise. Once we get into the rhythm of physical exercise, the muscles become strong and you can do even more and you can resist more. And so it is the same. It's very nice, no? The physical world, the spiritual dimension, it's all related. It's all related. So we have to enjoy Brahmin life. We have to have an easy life. But sometimes to practice something that is not so comfortable, it's also very useful. It's very good for us. Understanding, we are doing it with enthusiasm. What I mean is we understand the enormous benefit that is behind that, right? So that would be almost my message. Maybe we can open it to questions, because my message was to a little bit let us, all of us, to increase our enthusiasm, to really pay attention to those two things. More cleanliness in our thoughts and feelings towards the drama and the situations, especially regarding relations. I don't know, you can see your own experience, but I think the main type of wasteful thoughts, I think we would agree in many cases, that is relations with others, that small things that you don't like that others do or they shouldn't be doing, looking at others, a little bit thinking too much about a small defect of that person, things like that. Things like that, I think, are the ones that take more of our wasteful thinking time. But of course, the experience of each one is his, her own, no? is different. But I think it's very much connected with that. So I'm open to any of your comments, or if there is any question. But let us, just to finish, let us all, I invite you to, again, to revise these homeworks of BapDada and set up a plan. Even if it is a smaller plan, if you think now, so many times I don't feel I will be able, set up your plan. Today I will practice 8 times, 12 times this stage, or these 2 forms, like incorporeal, angelic, or the 5 forms. I like for instance, someone says, I like the exercise of the 5 forms. Today I will practice 12 times the exercise of the 5 forms. The important thing is that when you do the exercise, you really become totally focused and absorbed in that practice. Even if it is a little bit difficult, stay there. Strengthen the muscle, become strong. Do it. And if it hasn't been perfect, no problem. Give yourself a hand. You have done it. The prize is in doing it, is not in doing it perfectly. Because as we practice more and more and more, our capacity increases. Our level of focus and concentration increases. And it's happening. So this is a little bit the inspiration.
So thank you so much, Bill. It was very helpful, whatever you shared. And I think even those 2 minutes could be more. I think that we can do some more exercise before we finish. But first, let's check if there are any questions. I don't see any questions, but yes, practicing is really very important. And you just reminded me of my young times where I was an athlete, how you could go beyond the body with a lot of exercise, and then you start running and then you're not there, you're in another dimension. So now we have these exercises that Baba gives us and are very important, and those drills. And this 2 minutes exercise we did, it was really very strong and powerful. And I think, yes, it's very important to practice that every day, because when we get into the work that we have to do, either it is service or not service, we are losing our, destination sometimes, and we have to go back to our original, self, and also Baba, be with Baba. I don't see any questions yet.
And Baba was saying that, in fact, when a test or an exam, there was a Murli that Baba was talking about the final test. But when a test or an exam comes in front of us, is through this practice that we are able to be victorious and go beyond. But when we haven't exercised, the situation that is a test influences us. So we want to be victorious, but we need to train, as you were sharing your experience of being in sports, no, an athlete before, no. There's so much training and time for training, and then you can be more confident that you will be able to pass the test, right? So we need to build up more confidence, more strength.
Exactly. Can we do some more drill here? I don't see any questions, but we can
Let
be
us
in a, yeah,
let
we can
us
do something.
yeah, let us do the 5 forms, but I will only, instead of, because you know them all very well, what I suggest, instead of doing meditation commentary, I will just say the name of the form, and let's stay 1 minute with each form, and let's see if we can practice the 5 forms, 5 minutes. What do you think? Okay?
Yes, perfect. Yes.
So let us start right now with the incorporeal form again, in the home, in silence. Now the deity form. Deity form. Now the worthy of worship form. Now the Brahmin form. And now the angelic form. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. So wonderful. I hope everyone does that. It's really so powerful. We still have 7 more minutes. If anyone has any questions,
Or anyone
please.
wants to share an experience, how they practice and the benefits, maybe not just questions, but
Yeah, okay.
anyone who is practicing these exercises and wants to share their experience.
Yes, if anyone wants to share something, just write it on the chat. But really, it's really, an experience that takes you away from this negativity and the waste thoughts, the junk food, which is really very unhealthy, even on the physical level. It's really very, it disturbs your stomach and your mood and everything. There is a question, how do you do it? Do what?
How do you do it? What?
If you can write, how do we do what?
Because...
What is the form?
the worship form. I was sure that this is a question that many ask. What is this worship form? No?
So we fulfilled your wish.
I always found myself a little bit not so clear that the worship form, and finally asking it's a little bit of creative visualization of any. It's like reminding ourselves that during Copper Age, Iron Age, all the images of the deities or the divinities that are in the temples are the memorial of our final stage, right? And our deity stage. But just to bring any image, visualizing any image of any deity, any like this Saraswati or Lakshmi, Narayan, these images of these divine beings, because this is the service we do in our non-living form, Baba is explaining us to us, no? Service we do in our non-living forms during the Copper and Iron Ages. So that's a little bit, that part is a little bit more creative visualization, right? If anyone wants to add about the worthy of worship form, it's fine.
Oh, yes. There was I'm trying to find, okay, what kind of sanskars, qualities should we experience for this form?
For the worthy of worship form?
Yes.
It's bestower of blessings, no? Is because these idols in the temples, devotees go there to receive blessings, to take blessings from them. So it's a stage of like serving all those devotees. Bestower of blessings, of power. Devotees are in need, no? And they look for something, to get something, to receive something from the deities, from the idols, I mean.
Great. Yes, there is something in Spanish. I don't know if it is a question or can you read it? Un Shanti
personally, I translate for you.
Yeah, good.
Shanti, personally, it's very difficult for me to meditate. Meditation is something completely new in my culture. I'm trying to become familiar in these topics of in this practice of the 5 forms. I'm trying to keep my mind focused in Baba, the point of light, 2 minutes every hour. Still, it's hard work for me. But if the name is Edith, but I would say to Edith, I encourage her to keep doing it, because it's training, it's exercise, it's very healthy. Even if it is a little bit difficult or painful, I mean, and it's not painful in a terrible way. Painful in a sense that it requires effort, right? It requires, it's not so relaxed, but you have to make effort. So I would encourage you to, you say you are practicing exercises of 2 minutes, keep doing them. Always keep in mind, I am becoming stronger, I am becoming healthier, I am becoming more, with more capacity. And I think this is what the athletes, and they really want to stretch their limits, right? So we have to see always the benefit and the attainment. Then we do the exercise happily, not as a, oh my goodness, as a hard effort. We have to be more focused on the attainment. And the attainment is there, certainly. Sometimes we don't see it at that moment, but we will see it in our daily life. We will see it how we manage ourselves better. Internally, we are more detached. We are more able to go beyond thoughts of any situation. That's the incredible benefit.